Hello, horizontal people. I'm working on phase 2 of the Trondalog project, which is just chaotic that that's even a sentence I'm saying. This part, phase 2, is not having, like, doing the research, but it's living the history, right? It's the garb, it's doing this stuff, utilizing that research. One of the archaeologists that I wrote about in the Trondalog essay was Serra, who is a living archaeologist who has specifically studied ancient foodstuffs, ancient recipes, ancient cultures, what they ate. He started with the Romans, then he migrated over to Viking stuff. He himself is Scandinavian. He does a really great podcast and he has a full cookbook. I'm cooking one of his recipes that is like fisherman's pottage, but because fish is such a prolific allergy in my friend group, Barony, I am replacing that with vegetable stock and making it instead. Because at Gulf, I'm doing a private invitation lunch only for people who like the hypersona research thing, who might appreciate it, who are also like actually my friends, who might enjoy having a conjecture of a period recipe. This recipe is really straightforward. It's the kind of thing that you'd be able to eat all the time. It's barley, butter, shallots, dill, and malt vinegar. That's it. That's the whole recipe. You brown, you don't brown, you translucent, you sweat the shallots until they're translucent but not brown. And then you add in malt vinegar and dill, and then you add in the barley. It's like a risotto, where you add the stock in and slowly fluff it up. It's like a risotto, and it's really cool. He does all this research based on DNA evidence of what we find in excavated archaeological sites from human waste and refuse bins and things like that. So I'm cooking right now. If you know me, you know I hate cooking in cast iron so much. I hate it a lot. And I am learning how to cook and care for cast iron for this project. No one's making me do this. This is for me, because I enjoy this. So, this is where we're at. 5 tablespoons of butter and 5 shallots sweating. It's still a little yellow. I'd like it to be a little more translucent and reduced down a little bit more before I add in the other ingredients. This is a Civil War era cast iron pot. Dutch oven that I bought from my friend when they moved out of the country. So it is fulfilling its purpose of being a medieval reenactor's dream. This is all the barley that's going in. I'm supposed to grind this in a food processor, but I don't know where the one here is. I'd rather do it by hand. And the only mortar and pestle we have is this big. So yeah, that's not happening today. I'm gonna get a larger mortar and pestle for war, and I'll grind it there when I have all morning and not half an hour. I'm cooking this for the site fundraiser tonight, our site dinner chili cook-off thing. This is gonna be not a chili, but just a period recipe that I'm trying out because I need to practice it before I serve it to people at war. And this is the easiest way for me to double up on my to-do list and still be active, which I have a thing about it. It's fine. I'm dealing with a complex at the moment. I'm going to handle it. It's under control. So this is where we're at with this. It's supposed to be done with fish stock, and he actually has the recipe for making fish stock out of bone. But as I said, so many people are allergic to fish that I'm not taking that to a campsite and cooking it. And you're like, oh, I don't know that many people who have a fish allergy. Shellfish is more common. I can list 10 people in my immediate friend group right now who are allergic to fish. Like aerosolized fish will send them into shock. So we're not having any of that. I am at the next step. Melt the butter until they become translucent. Add the dill seed. Add the dill seed. Malt vinegar, dill seed. And dill seed is not the same as dill plant, to be very clear. It is whole seeds. And it doesn't say anything about grinding it or anything. It just says put it in there. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit here. I'm only putting in like a teaspoon of dill seed. So I'm going to do this the way the ancestors intended, by hand. You don't measure that shit, you feel with your heart. I hate pickles. So this should be easy enough for me to sense out how it should be done properly. That feels teaspoony. This feels teaspoony, right? This feels teaspoony. Yeah, that's teaspoony. And I'm gonna go over here. Disperse that amidst the aromatics. And then stirring once or twice and reduce to a low medium heat. It's cast iron, so everything's medium, and I've turned it to the lowest heat setting. All right, it has now been mixed in. Add the barley and mix thoroughly. Pour in the malt vinegar and stir. How much vinegar am I putting in? A tablespoon of malt vinegar. The recipe calls for 14 ounces of barley. I'm using 16 ounces because that's the packet. It came in a 10 ounce pack and a 16 ounce pack. So we're doing slightly more. So when the recipe said 4 to 5 shallots, I did 5 shallots to kind of balance that out. I don't know how many people are going to try this tonight. I really only need a handful of people to try it and give me their opinion about where the seasoning is at. Tablespoon. A tablespoon. Okay. It's in one of those shaky fucking boys, so let me get this plastic bit off. I like cooking. Cooking makes me happy. My big brothers taught me how to cook. My grandmother taught me how to cook. My uncle taught me how to cook. I learned how to cook Japanese food. I'm going to put in another tablespoon of malt. I learned how to cook Japanese food from my grandmother. I learned how to cook Italian food when we were living in Italy. It made me very happy. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy feeding people. I enjoy being connected to them. I think that cooking is something universal that unites everybody. I think it makes us a part of each other. And in a world so heavily divided, I think cooking is healing. So I don't see how completely dried barley is going to absorb the malt, but I'm going to mix it in there with the onions anyway. Okay. Add the barley and mix thoroughly. Okay. So my menu for the Viking lunch, which I will not have video or footage of because it's going to be at the event and I want it to be like immersive. So you'll see all the prep stuff, but you won't see anything from the day of. I'm going to make butter myself on site that I will use in the recipe and for bread. I'm making barley oat biscuits as like a bread thing, like fried pan biscuits. Making pork loin marinated in barley and dill and parsley. And I might roast up some garlic if I'm feeling spicy. Add more if you prefer your dish on the acidic side. Once the stock is ready, pour in enough to cover the grains. This is not fresh hot stock, but I can't imagine it needs to be hot right now to cover the grains. This is the part where I'm like, this is a risotto, right? Okay, enough to cover the grains. That's enough to cover the grains. It doesn't look appetizing right now, let me tell you that much. Because it's just shallot and a whole hard barley in yellow broth. It looks crazy. Alexa, volume down by 2. So I could pour in, stir, and add more little by little. Let the pot simmer on a low to medium heat until the grains look soft and creamy. I have half an hour. At 6:30, I have to pack this up and go. It is 5:50 now. Put that up a little bit higher. It is at water level. So once this absorbs a little bit and it starts to soak it in, I'll be happier. I am going to go ahead and put the lid on top. And Duncan is on me that I don't need to do anything about the rust on the top of this because it's the lid, so it's okay, but I'm terrified and also it doesn't look good. So I have to do something about that. But the lid's on there now. She's a-going. Oh, Lord, she's going. I might splash a little bit more malt vinegar in there. But I'm also doing, my menu is vegetable stock traveler's pottage. That's what this is. Pork loin and local herbs, local to the Norwegian region, because that's where my persona is from. Dill and chives, parsley, garlic, and mustard, as in mustard seed. On-site bread and butter. I'm going to make butter from heavy cream on-site. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to make it. And then we're having mead and elderflower water for those who do not wish to have alcohol. Because this will be happening the day of the raid, so I assume there'll be some people like me who can't drink before we fight, even though it'll be several hours before the fighting begins. I, myself, am a lightweight, and any amount of alcohol will make me drunk for several hours afterward. It's bubbling. I'm not going to say that the barley's absorbing yet, but it's bubbling. That makes me happy. This project... You can never tell him I said this. And send him this video, I don't care. This project was very heavily inspired by Sir Halvgrim, who years ago now, I suppose, did a fancy lunch for some of his friends that my Uncle Luke, yes, the one who taught me how to cook, cooked for. And in cooking for it, he did this cool period food, and he was telling me about it. And because I know when my uncle's in the kitchen, he is in the kitchen, I was like, oh, I want some. And he was like, well, it's up for a special group of people. You can't just have any. I was like, okay. So, of course, naturally, by the time they were done eating, he invited me over to come get a plate. And I was over the moon about it. It tasted very good. And while I was there, I was privy to some very cool conversations that I probably wasn't supposed to be privy to. But were very inspiring regardless. I think it was healthy. I have a superpower. I was like, this is really cool. I'd love to be able to host in this way. I'd love to be able to be this host. So I decided, back in November, and I pinged it off of Yum, that I wanted to do a period meal. For, people who would actually appreciate eating period food and having a period meal, as opposed to people who would be like, I don't know, blah, blah. So I put together a list of 13 people that I would want to come eat my food. And then the more I thought about it, those 13 people were not close to the people, I needed more seats at the table. So the list has now expanded to 23. There are 23 people, and I told them this is a private lunch. I'm inviting you. This is not an open invitation. Several of them were like, can I bring my spouse? And I was like, yes, obviously. And then also several people were like, I'm sorry, I can't come. One person who's coming can't eat any of it because she's vegan, but she's helping host. And it very quickly got a little bit bigger than I intended for it to be. I was picturing 10 of us sitting around eating lunch together. It's double that, but I refused to back down. Several people were like, I want to help do this because I know that's a lot of people. Let me Venmo you some money. And I was like, great, that's cool. But the plan is to wake up on Wednesday morning and make butter first thing in the morning and then cook over an open fire. So I'm going to build a fire and I'm going to roast pork loin. Slow roast it. So it's really soft and tender. Duncan knows how, so I'm going to make him show me how. I'm cooking for the first time. I am cooking a full meal over an open campfire with cast iron utensils, with all the period ingredients and no modern technology. For 23 people, the first time. Because I have zero chill. And when I do something, I fucking do it. When I am in the kitchen, I am in the kitchen. So. I'm a little manic at the moment, in case you haven't noticed. This is just the way that I am. I am simply this way. Sushi. I enjoy this part a lot more than the sewing part. You know what I mean? I love the research. I love the learning. I love the understanding. The turning my research into an existing thing part of the process is my like third favorite part. My favorite part of a project is planning. My favorite part of a project is planning the project. My second favorite part is doing the research. My third favorite part is like making the research into a reality. But I don't enjoy sewing all that much. Like, is that crazy as a drag queen and Skadian to say that I don't actually like sewing? I don't dislike it. I don't hate it. It is a hobby that I have. I like designing and making my own clothes. I like designing clothing that I like and having something original. I like being able to create my visions. I wouldn't go out of my way to sew. If I had a magic wand that would let me make the thing that I wanted, I would use it. Because I wouldn't miss the sewing, you know. I think I'm very good at it. I'd rather read. I'd rather cook, more to the point. This is fun for me. Cooking the food that I researched is more fun than sewing the clothing that I researched. Not just because it's faster. And not even because it's faster. I'm not like an instant gratification kind of person. I am I ordered it, where's my fucking fabric kind of person. I don't care if it's been 12 hours. The neighbor's dogs are barking. Get this little stir. The barley's starting to come together. It's starting to happen. What's happening? That is stiff. It is hard. It says until it's soft and creamy. I don't know what that means though. What is creamy barley? This is why it's important to do a test recipe. It's if you're trying out a recipe for the first time and other people are going to eat it, you have to cook it first. Like before the other people are going to try it. If you're throwing a dinner party and you're testing out a bunch of recipes and you're cooking new stuff, do not cook it for the first time the night of your dinner party. Simply don't. You will simply fuck yourself so hard. Don't do it. Which is why it was so important to me that I find the time to do this, and I was freaking out about not knowing when I was going to do it because I had to put the helmet in acid, I had to make myself new weapons, I got to sell all these things, I got to help me with the food, and it's so much stuff on my plate, no room for food, and then I was like, wait, chili cook-off, site dinner, I can't fight anyway, so rather than wasting the evening bitching, I'm going to use it to my advantage. So here I am, I'm a smart cookie, bing bong, bing bong. The pork loin's easy. I'm going to get the pork loins probably the Wednesday night before. I'll go to the grocery store and get a bunch of unflavored pork loin. And then I will make my seasoning mix, put it in the bags, vacuum seal the bags, and then freeze them. And then I will just put the frozen pork loins in the cooler and take it to war and keep them on ice. And then make sure that they are out of ice Tuesday night so that they defrost overnight. And the temperature will help them come down comfortably. Thursday night, actually. I will go get it Thursday night because one less day on ice is probably healthier. It's bubbling. It's boiling. He rolling? He's not quite. He's like on a simmer. I color-coded my instructions. Simmer on low to medium heat until the grains look soft and creamy. Okay. We're online. We are apace. We're pacing. Quick stepping. Where's the lid? So my thought is... I'll get up in the morning. First thing I got to do is make so much butter. Luckily, that's fairly easy to do without a butter churn. And I've accidentally done it before. I haven't done it without a food processor before, but I have done it before. And butter is not that difficult to make. And then I'll prep the risotto. So I'll dice everything and I'll start grinding so that when all the barley is done, I know that the biscuits have to sit aside for 30 minutes. So I'll grind the barley and dice the shallots. And then I will make the biscuit dough. And while the biscuit dough is sitting aside for 30 minutes, I'll do all of the legwork with cooking these. And then I will fry off the biscuits. I'll put the pork loins on, fry off the biscuits. So I need to start cooking by 9 o'clock to get lunch ready for 1. Which should be fine. That gives me time in the morning to swing through merchants and to get the table and everything ready. Because during this part where it's just sitting here, I can be frying the biscuits off. I don't need to be hovering over it. I'll just put the lid on it and check on it every minute or so. 5 minutes or so. And then I'll fry off the biscuits. It's 6 o'clock. I have 20 minutes. I'm not going to talk to you for 20 minutes. That would be insane. Wouldn't that be insane? Just unedited rambling blog. Oh, this little mix here so it doesn't. It smells really good. It smells real good. I wish you would tell me how long it takes to cook barley, Daniel. Daniel Serra, the archaeologist, who you should go check out. Could you give me something resembling a timeline? The outside is soft, but it is still hard, and I cannot squeeze it with my fingernail. So I'm going to say not done. It is starting to look softer, though. Creamy is not the word I would use to describe anything with shallots in it. But here we are. I'm going to actually look at the box of barley and see how long it thinks we need to cook it for. Microwave on high for 4 minutes. Fluff with a fork. Use in place of rice or pasta. This product is not ready to eat. It must be cooked thoroughly. Do not eat or play with raw product. That's to reheat barley. For soups, add 1/4 cup to each quart of soup. Cook for 1 hour longer. What does that mean? Chicken barley chili. Add beans. Simmer for 40 minutes. Okay. I'm going to have to leave this on there until 6:30 and then go. So I'm going to leave you, and you will see it in like 2 seconds, but I'm going to go and get changed and possibly take a shower, and then I'm going to come back whenever this is done. I'm going to show it to you. It's going to be real pretty. It's going to be creamy. Creamy, Daniel. What does that mean, Daniel? I suppose I will understand what creamy barley looks like after I've seen it for the first time. That's often how it is with cooking, where you're like, what does that even fucking mean? And then you're like, oh, that's what that fucking means. Okay. I am going to put more chicken stock in here and reduce the heat ever so slightly, because it's in like a true simmering rolling boil, but there's not enough liquid in there for it to be simmering like it is. So I'm going to put more liquid in because it's freaking me out. Freaking me out, burn. And ideally, this barley is going to absorb this liquid. I suppose this is why you crush the barley first, to make it more absorbent, because you increase the surface area while maintaining volume. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cover it mostly, but leave room for some of the smoke to get out. And then I'm going to leave you, and in a second I'll be back. Yes, this is a long video. That's how I vlog.